I hope everybody's having a good day today. I wanted to come on here and share a devotion with you guys. And this devotion is going to be about the power of a tongue. And while I'm talking about the power of a tongue, I want you guys to think of these words. I want you to think of discernment, humility, influence, purity, reputation, and also responsibility. So we're going to talk about the tongue and ways that it can affect in a negative way. We're going to go through some of those at first. So some scriptures I want to read to you. The first one is going to be found in James 1:26. It says, "If any among you thinks he is religious and does not bridle his tongue, but deceives his own heart, this one's religion is useless." All right, I also want to go to James 3 through 5. "Even so, the tongue is a little member and boasts great things. See how great a forest a little fire kindles? And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. The tongue is so set among our members that it defiles the whole body, and sets on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire by hail. For every kind of beast and bird and reptile and creature of the sea is tamed, and has been tamed by mankind. But no man can tame the tongue. It is unruly, evil, full of deadly poison." Some negative things about the tongue. One of those topics we're going to talk about is gossip. Gossip can be such a wildfire, as we mentioned in this. If you're the person that does the gossiping, just remember, we as Christians should not be gossiping. It should be anything that comes out of our mouth should be edifying, glorifying God. If it's not something positive, we just shouldn't say it at all. And if we're around somebody that's doing the gossiping as well, if you find yourself in a conversation with the same person that's always gossiping, pray for that person. Let them pray that they'll have a change of heart and their tongue will start lifting up one another. But if you find yourself in that moment, in that conversation, ask them, say, "I don't feel like we should be talking about this every time we come together." So I want you guys to think about that as I'm reading some of these other verses to you. And we are going to read Proverbs. We're going to go over to the book of Proverbs. I'm going to read for a few scriptures in Proverbs. The first one is going to be Proverbs 11 and 13. "A talebearer reveals secrets, but he who is of a faithful spirit conceals a matter." Now we're going to go over to 16 in Proverbs chapter 16. And we're going to go to verse 28. And it says, "A preserved man sows strife, and a whisper separates the best of friends." Proverbs 18:8. "The words of a talebearer are like tasty trifles, and they go down into the inmost body." Now we're going to go to Proverbs 20:19. "He who goes about as a talebearer reveals secrets. Therefore, do not associate with the one who flatters his lips." 26:20. "Where there is no wood, the fire goes out, and where there is no talebearer, strife ceases." So if somebody was gossiping, would you like it if somebody was gossiping about you? So I want you to think about that. I don't want you to be caught in a conversation where somebody's gossiping or you're the one gossiping as well. So be honest with yourself. How much do you gossip? I want you to think about that as well. So I want to go now over to Proverbs again as well. But gossiping isn't the only way words can hurt. You know that saying, I heard it a lot when I was young: "Stick and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me." If you think about that, for just a second. Do you think that's true or false? I definitely think that's false. I think words can hurt somebody. I mean, look how many scriptures we just read in Proverbs. I at least read you 5 right there. If words did not hurt somebody, or our tongue didn't hurt somebody, why would there be so many scriptures on the tongue? I mean, you could go time, chapter, verses, and find so many different scriptures just on the power of the tongue. But I also want to talk to you about language choices. What's coming out of our mouths? Are we using good language? Or are we using filthy language? I want to go to Proverbs 12 and verse 18. And in Proverbs 12:18 it says, "There is one who speaks like the piercing of a sword, but the tongue of the wise promotes health." 2 things here. Your tongue can pierce, if you're not used like a sword, can pierce and be sharp. But we need to bridle our tongue, as we read in James. But the wise promotes health. Your tongue can be used in powerful ways. Your tongue can be a blessing, a huge blessing, but it also can be a bad thing as well. So now I want to go to the book of Ecclesiastes, and I want to read in chapter 5, verse 2. "Do not be rash with your mouth, and let not your heart utter anything hastily before God. For God is in heaven, and you on earth. Therefore, let your words be few." Now let's go right over to chapter 6 in Ecclesiastes, verse 11. "Since there are many things that increase vanity, how is man the better?" All right, so we need to be careful and choose our words wisely. What words come out of our mouth? If we're at school, wherever we are, what words are coming out of our mouth? Are we choosing our words wisely? Because if you're using filthy language around your friends or around people who's not even your friends, how are you going to be a light to them if they hear you using words and then you invite them to church? I just want you guys to think about that as well. And I also want you, now that we talked about the negative impact, there can be positive impact as well with the power of the tongue. You guys can compliment somebody, you can encourage somebody. I mean, how many times have you been encouraged and that it makes you feel that much greater? If you think about the piercing of the sword, how much it hurts. Now I want you to think about lifting somebody up, how much it can encourage somebody. If you're playing a sport in school and that person on your team shot a basket and made, if they were playing basketball and they made it in the hoop, maybe you're not even great friends with them. Tell them, hey, that was an awesome job you did. Way to help our team out. You know, we can always encourage and lift people up. It's so easy to see negative in people, but I want you to try to see the positive. Find a way to encourage somebody, because there are so many ways that we can use our tongue in a positive way. You can even speak life over your body. You can speak healing over your body. By his stripes we are healed. Speak that on a daily basis, because we can also speak different things when it doesn't come to gossip or filthy language. We can speak not even blessings over our life by way of our tongues, but speak blessings over your life. Encourage people, lift each other up. And I want to leave with you a thought. I want you to think before you speak. And when you think, what I want you to think of, I want you guys to ask yourself a few questions. Is it true? Before you think, is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? And is it kind? I encourage you guys today to lift somebody up with the power of the tongue, because always remember, God can use you in a powerful way. One person can make a great impact in this world, and God wants to use you, because in Jeremiah, God has a plan. He has a plan for our lives, and He is willing and wants to use you. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks.